How to make peace with your parents and why it really matters to you. Making peace with your parents is one of the most effective and powerful ways to accelerate your own self-development and happiness. I should know. I was mentally and emotionally abused by my father up to the age of 12, and making peace with him long after he had died transformed my life. I was finally able to claim the happiness, health and fulfillment that is everyone's right, and I'll tell you how I did it in a moment. Until I made my discovery, I suffered from chronic depression as an adult. I hid it as best I could by drinking too much or immersing myself in work, but still it was always there, that inability to enjoy anything of my life. I couldn't bring myself to buy new clothes because I didn't believe I deserved them. And as for going for any new job, forget it. I also erupted into uncontrollable rages at the slightest provocation. I was a mess. I was frozen in a loop of self-denial and lack of self-worth. And the only escape was to sometimes lash out at those who love me the most. And time doesn't heal anything. That's one of the biggest myths ever. Believe me, it's like these abuses happened yesterday. In fact, that one insight was a big clue that led to my own breakthrough. I've since discovered that people who are abused when they are children are 4 times more likely to suffer from a chronic health problem when they are adults, from heart disease, arthritis, and even cancer. Childhood trauma has been described as one of the big 4 causes of chronic disease, and yet neuroscientists and psychiatrists can't understand how it happens. How can your father shouting at you 50 years ago cause your cancer today? You're especially at risk if you suffered 3 or more different types of trauma as a child. Perhaps your parents shouted at you, or were never at home when you got back from school, or they abused or hit you, or worse. If this happened to you, you must act for the sake of your health and happiness. And not wishing to get too gloomy about this, people abused as children are also much more likely to die an early death. So, for hundreds of reasons, it's essential you exorcise those ghosts of abuse that still haunt you. My name is Bryan Hubbard, and I want to tell you about my discovery, which I call Time Light. I had tried plenty of therapists to get out of my depression, talking cures, body work, and yes, they all helped a little. But it was my own discovery that gave me the real breakthrough. I had got to the point where I just had to know what was happening to me. Then, one day, it hit me like a 10-ton truck. It's all to do with the nature of time. Most of us think that time is somehow a dimension, but it's not. Time is a living, pulsing energy, and this one insight opened up a treasure trove of discoveries, of why we do what we do, how we become what we are, and most important of all, what we can do to utterly and profoundly change the things about ourselves that hold us back. When you know time is an energy, you also understand why abused children suffer from chronic diseases as adults. Finally, it makes sense. Now, neuroscientists talk about trauma and abuse as if it's all the same for everyone. It's not. Even a mild rebuke, perhaps you were shouted at once by an irate father, can be enough to leave a scar of time that continues to shape your life as an adult. And you could be among the many who disappear below the radar and never get help. The Time-Light model doesn't use terms like abuse or trauma. Instead, I call any experience that reverberates down the years a time-heavy experience. It's created a footprint of time which is energetic and will continue shaping your life until you realize what's happening. Yes, even if you had a relatively happy childhood, your parents will still have left a shadow, a subtle influence that has determined how you see the world, and most significantly of all, how you see yourself. Remember, it's never too late to make peace with your parents, and it doesn't matter if they are still alive or not. This is a process for you. Since making my discoveries, I've gone on to write a best-selling book, The Untrue Story of You, and it's being trialled at a clinic in Germany. Time-Light has already helped thousands of people free themselves from the grip of time. I've seen it happen in workshops, and I know it's working from the many testimonials I've received from people who've gone through the book and its 28 exercises. I'm very confident it can help you too. Just follow the link below and we'll send you a free guide to Time-Light. It'll be your first step to free yourself from the ghosts of your past and entering into a life that's happy, fulfilled and healthy, the life you were born to have.